All right, welcome back inside the intermission show for our second edition of the Alumni Report. Joey Pitt here in my bedroom. Let's be honest here. I didn't go down to the rink to do this, but I'm thrilled to be joined by a guy who I spent a lot of time talking to on the broadcast last year, and that's former Eagles assistant coach and former Eagles defenseman Matt Dawson, who joins us from all the way on the other side of the continent, but he dealt with the time change and made time for me to catch up with him. So Maddie, long time no see. How you doing?
Doing well, Joey. Thanks for having me. Yeah, like you said, time change, but happy to happy to be here.
Well, first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the last time you were in Surrey for an Eagles event, and that was actually at the golf tournament at the start of the season, which I unfortunately was not there for as I was up in Penticton doing the Young Stars tournament. That said, you made your triumphant return down to Surrey. You got a chance to connect with some of the players who stuck around from last year. Overall, what was the experience like down at the links?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, like you said, it was great to be back and around some of those guys I had coached and been with the year before, and to see Cam and some of the other coaching staff. It was awesome. Always a good time when you can get out golfing, and it was a nice day, so no complaints on my part. They put on a great event, so it was a really good time, and you could tell kind of in the air that I think they had something special, and I think you're kind of seeing it come to fruition now that yeah, they got a very good team, and like I said, you could tell there right at the beginning of the year that all the guys were kind of meshing, and you could tell it was going to be something special. So it's exciting to see it right at the start and to kind of follow them along this year and see it translate.
Well, you're no stranger to special groups yourself. Obviously, you were behind the bench for last year's club, which saw the likes of Bongo Galata and Schwartz, the rookie season of Ryden Evers, among other things. A great year for Surrey. But if you shift the mind back 10 years before that, it was the Fred Page Cup championship winning 2013 Surrey Eagles who took down the Penticton Vees in 6 games. Maddie, you found yourself as somewhat of a seventh defender for most of that run. You didn't see action until the fourth round. That said, when you were there, you were there. What was the experience like being along for the ride and then eventually in the thick of it, going for a Fred Page Cup?
Yeah, like you said, I didn't see any action till the fourth round, but leading up to it, I mean, it was an incredible experience. That team, I still think about it today, is one of the coolest hockey teams I've been a part of. Their leadership, Devon Toews, Adam Tambellini, guys like that, just professionals, and you could tell even at the junior level that they were professionals, and obviously it translated to the professional level for those two guys and a couple other guys, but just an amazing group, kind of like the group that we had last year, and I'm sure the group that they have this year. People who just got along, and you could tell. I think that's rare, and especially in junior hockey when guys are coming and going a little bit. Um, just rare to get a group that just really meshes and connects that way. So, yeah, very special team, and like you said, I was fortunate enough to be a seventh defenseman on that team and get into some games eventually, and the coaching staff there too was unbelievable. Matt Earhart, and um, he did a great job putting me in at the right time and kind of set me up for success. I think so. Yeah, great group, and I still think about it. I mean, you can see the jersey still hanging here. Put it up for this interview, but yeah, a really special group, and I was very fortunate to be a part of that little end stint of their season there.
And if you go back to the overtime winner from Tambellini in game 6, the last guy on the pile is number 28, Matty Dawson, who comes and jumps in at the very end. The only one you beat to the pile was probably Big Nick. But overall, do you remember what the elation was like on the bench at the South Okanagan Event Center when Tambo shoved that one home past Katner?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a blur now, but I remember going up there for game 6, and the big thing that stood out was nothing changed, and especially with that leadership group that I talked about, Tambellini and Taves. I remember them the night before just acting like it was any other game, obviously taking the right steps, but putting no like extra pressure on themselves, if that makes sense. Just another game. They knew that we had a good team and that they were going to show up to play. I think that was those special groups like that. You kind of get those guys that um, for have that confidence, and it trickles down to the rest of the team, and that's something that I took away from it. I probably played 4 or 5 shifts in that whole game, but going into it, I mean, I had confidence because I saw those guys the night before. I saw how they were preparing, and um, yeah, it was a great experience. I do remember, yeah, probably 4 or 5 shifts. I double overtime, so I didn't see from the late second on any shifts, and I remember wetting my hair just in case we did win, so it could look like I played a little bit. But great, great experience, and it a testament to that defense core because they played with five for most of the game. So really good group, and what an experience. I'll never forget that.
You left Surrey after the 13-14 season. You ended up coming back for 22-23. The only member of the entire organization who was left over from that team was Big Nick Johnston. So, my question for you is when you first rejoined the Eagles organization, what was it like to see Big Nick again, and how pumped was he?
Oh, it was amazing. If anybody knows Big Nick, he can put a smile on your face even when you're having the worst day. So it was amazing, and getting to see him most days at the rink was such a plus to my job there, and um, I miss him to this day. So um, yeah, it was amazing getting to work with him again, and his memory is unlike anything else. So he was telling me things that I couldn't even remember from that little playoff run. So that was exciting every day.
In 15-16, you make the jump to the NCAA to the University of New Hampshire. You end up scoring 4 goals as a rookie on the blue line. I don't think any of them are bigger, and forgive me for bringing this up, but when you and I post game on some road trips after we'd have a couple libations, we'll say, the story inevitably would come up of the time that you scored on now Vancouver Canucks starting goaltender Thatcher Demko.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think he'll ever remember that. Obviously, you alluded to my 4 goals, so I can remember each one very clearly. But yeah, it was. I mean, it's just cool to see him play for my hometown team and stuff, and they're having such a good year. So I mean, little victory for me in my grand scheme of my hockey career, but it was a cool little thing that I guess now I can watch my hometown team and my hometown goaltender and have that in the back of my head.
And, following last season, you end up taking a step away from coaching after doing a previous year in the PJHL. You came to Surrey the year after. You stepped away from coaching at the end of last season. What has life been like for you since leaving the Surrey Eagles?
Yeah, so I moved back to New Hampshire. I was kind of the plan was with my wife. So I live in New Hampshire, where I went to school, a little north of where I went to school actually, but I'm now a firefighter EMT here, so I work in a city called Laconia and uh, work on the ambulance and on the fire trucks. So that's kind of what I've been up to, going back to school to get some more training on my EMT stuff and kind of continue down that medical path as well as the fire path. So it's been a completely different shift, but I try to help out here. We got a local high school hockey team, so I jump on the ice with them. It's a great group. So kind of stay active with the hockey, but yeah, definitely the new chapter, the fire EMS has kind of been my life, and uh, really exciting, completely new for me. So a lot to learn. It's kind of like starting hockey fresh almost. Like I don't know much, but work with a great group of guys and girls. So they're helping me a lot.
Just a follow-up question. When you make the transition from hockey just as a full-time career for you, from the time that you put on skates as a youngin to the time that you wrapped up your coaching career, there's basically 25 years of nonstop hockey for you, correct?
Yeah, correct. Exactly that.
So when you switch from the hockey career to now working as a firefighter and an EMT, how does the gas tank of a hockey player compare to the gas tank of a firefighter?
Oh, it's very similar in a way. You kind of get that locker room camaraderie vibe at the firehouse. A lot of the same kind of getting on you. I'm a pro B, so I'm the new guy in the house. So kind of like being a rookie in hockey. I don't say much and just kind of take everything in, listen to what I'm told, and just try to do the best I can. But I still find myself, tracking games. I track Surrey, I track UNH. Actually got down to UNH games, so I get my hockey fill, and I still catch myself watching video and thinking about what Cam Keith would be saying or what he would want there. So I still get it. I feel like I'll never lose that, and I'd love to find my way again back to the game somehow, whatever that may be. But enjoying it for sure.
And we'll wrap things up with a question about the team itself here. As you know, a lot of the former players that were here last year who stuck around, the likes of Aaron Schwartz, Ryden Evers, Captain Ty Brassington, Josh Wessels, and Rylan Bonkowski, just to name a few. The team has been flourishing at an alarming rate, we'll say, as almost all of those players that I've named have reached career highs this season, including Aaron Schwartz, who broke the 100 career point mark in the BCHL. You see that along with the pieces that Cam Keith has added, the likes of Caden Cranston and Micah Berger, Evan Brown, Sid McNeil. I could keep listing them off.
I know.
How do you see this team faring in the postseason?
I'm so excited for them. I think without jinxing or anything, I think it's their time. I think it's they're primed for a very good run. Like you said, all those pieces that came back that have been through a playoffs now, I think that's huge experience. Going through those couple of rounds that we went through, I think that's invaluable. And then, like you said, those new pieces that they add are incredible. Everybody's just kind of that year older and has that experience. And like you alluded to, Cam Keith, I mean, I can't tell you enough good things about him and how he coaches, what he asks of his players, and um, he's just an amazing coach, an amazing person. So if anybody's going to get it done behind the bench, I think he can. And I'm so excited to watch them in the playoffs. I'm actually very, very excited for the first round and continue. And I think, like I said, I think it's their time. So um, really excited.
Well, Matt, I want to thank you for joining me today for this edition of the Eagles Alumni Report during the intermission show. Uh, Thank you again for taking time out of your busy day. I know you're doing student work. You're obviously working as a firefighter and an EMT. So a very busy guy is Matt Dawson, all the way over in New Hampshire, but he made the time for us today. I'd like to thank you. Folks, join me next time for another edition of the Alumni Report. The next time the Eagles are on home ice, when I'll be joined by folks. You knew this one was coming. It's gonna be a flashback to last year, the reunion of Socha's Corner, as I'm gonna have Michael Sochan
Nice.
on. Folks, tune in for that one. Until next time, folks, I'm Joey Pitt.